Welcome back, everyone, to episode number 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I believe this is 7. Yes, episode 7 of Tank Wars 2 Electric Boogaloo. I am your host, Chromoid, and today we are going to be watching A Knot of Toads by Mourark, yet again facing off against another opponent. This time, going to be facing off against a new challenger to the field, the 7E Bataillon de Reconnaissance des Chars Légers. I don't know, I think that's French, and I can't speak French to save my life. But this is submitted by Leok, also known as Everyone on the Discord. And this is his first battle. Mourark has already fought one battle and won against Adnecrius. But this is everyone's first battle. So he's going to be facing off with a bunch of these really cool APC looking things. These are cuirassiers and chasseurs. I think that's how you say that. I don't know. I know there's a couple of cuirassiers, these tank looking things. Very, very fancy. Love the heavy armor used in the front. These are sloped by spin blocks, which is really cool. Makes this nice little ablative armor look on the entire tank. They all carry these missile launchers with a little laser pod on top. These are mimicked, so don't worry. They're not simple weapons. I checked. And then you've got a bunch of these smaller little cuirassiers, and then you've got a bunch of these chasseurs. I guess these are the chasseurs. I don't know how you say that. Little APCs with little bit of mimic work on the turret, and just a loving dose of aesthetics on everything. And yeah, you guys have already seen a knot of toads, but we're going to go over it again. These are the sideways crabbing cram tanks with the fixed um, the I've forgotten what it's called when you have a fixed gun with the whole mounted gun. I'm going to remember halfway through this battle. But anyway, they've got fixed guns, mix of APS and cram. They like to kind of roll sideways and forwards at the same time, but have a bit of stamina issues. So we're going to see how they fare against the reconnaissance battalion. In 3, 2, 1, go. Right away, reconnaissance battalion kind of dropping from a bit of a height there. Um, oh, that's an issue. Yeah, the tanks didn't quite spawn in correctly, did they? Well, that's hardly fair. Let's restart this. I'm not gonna bother resetting this fight, or I'm not gonna bother resetting the what am I gonna say? Not gonna bother resetting the video. Yes, and we're gonna do this. Yeah, we're gonna do that at 2, and y'all will just suffer through me with this, and we'll see if we can get this going. And hello, there we go. Let's try this again. Sorry about that, folks. 3, 2, 1, start. Don't flip. Yikes, that spawns from way up high. But it looks like everything made it down this time all right, aside from a little bit of cosmetic damage on the front, and they just take off firing. So yeah, well, I guess we'll just leave that in there and let them sort that out. These are stuck. They should get unstuck as soon as that spawn stick dies in about 10 seconds. So yeah, they won't be joining the charge. But I mean, they're getting to fire. They're okay. They're not getting shot at. So, oh boy. Oh boy. Oh boy, the toads. The toads are a bit confused by what's going on right now. They've never met a full frontal assault before, I don't think. It's just been straight to the fray and brawl. And while they're very good at brawling, you see they're kind of holding their own in this divot here. They kind of all got down in here aside from that one. They'll get down in here and just kind of wait for the opponent to pop over and slam cram shots into them from close range. These heavy armor mantlets on the tanks are going to make a lot of difficulty for the toads because that's going to absorb a lot of damage, and you can see these guns are just popping shot after shot into the toads. The toads are durable, but I don't know if they're that durable. That's a lot of damage. That's a whole lot of damage. Something just blew up, or my computer just had a moment. My computer had a moment. A couple of toads up here, scampering away. It looks like they're trying to reposition, turn the turrets around, or the guns around. Casemates, that's what they're called. I told you I'd remember halfway through the match. Turn the casemates around and try to face their opponents, but they're not doing a good job of it. They're more focused on running away than actually fighting, whereas these turreted tanks can both run and fight. Taking some decent shots. You can see Cram just came and took a chunk out of the HA, but The heavy armor is doing its job. It's holding off the majority of those shots, keeping it out of the sensitive internals of the turrets, while the chasseurs are just charging forward, firing as fast as they possibly can. Look at these missile launchers. They're so cool. This one's firing. I'm not sure why these aren't. I'm wondering if they... No, it's firing. Just a different fire rate. That one's just a very, very fast fire rate. I guess it's the cuirasse. I don't know. I don't know what is what here. I don't know which one. That's 100, so I'm guessing... I don't know. I don't know which ones are which, guys. I don't speak French. All I know is these are some pretty slick-looking guns, and they are doing some pretty slick work on a knot of toads. But the knot of toads seems to be doing more damage back to them. We're at 98.5% for the knot of toads, 90% for the reconnaissance battalion. While they may be good at reconnaissance, they're not good at brawling, it would seem, because the toads, that's what they do. They get up in your face, and they just ram cram shells down your throat until you can't take any more. That was a visual I don't think anyone needed. I'm sorry. Oh, one of the cuirasses is already gone. There's the front plate gone off of one of them. The spin block has been destroyed, leaving the hull naked to any frontal assaults. Oh man, this is getting rough. Looks like parts of the missile launcher are being destroyed. Another blast out of the cram cannons. This hill is doing some work for protecting the reconnaissance battalion from major reprisals from the toads. Oh, missile stuck in the ground. Gonna be stuck there for a while. Oh, another cram shot. Another cram shot buries itself. I think it just missed that one. We've got missiles pouring in everywhere. The toads are getting hit really hard by the missiles, but their repair bots are able to keep up, and they are queuing through that large repair budget they have, but that's what it's there for. They are just ripping through it, keeping them at a relatively healthy 95 to 100%. Not suffering a lot of mobility damage, not suffering a lot of any kind of damage. The APS is firing back. The cram tanks are just in the middle, taking all the shots and dishing out just as much pain. Another big shot to the front of this tank. It's taking a lot of hits at this point. Oh, those crams are missing. Cram missing is pretty costly because they cost a lot of ammo to fire, if I remember correctly. And they're not that accurate, and they're long reloads, so a single cram gun's going to take a while to get back in action. But when they hit, man, do they hit. And you've already seen the missile launcher's been sheared off of this tank. These little APCs are doing what they can, launching missiles in, firing their APS as fast as they can, but it's just not doing well. These tanks are taking an absolute beating. Over here we've got more tanks trying to duel with more toads. We've got APCs everywhere. It is a mess. Alright. We got an aerial view here, so I stopped jumping around like a dragonfly on acid. And you can see we've already lost 2 of the reconnaissance battalion, and absolutely all of the toads are just fine. They were hovering at 99% to 100%. They are not feeling this at all because their materials budget is so huge, and they just aren't being put to the task. They're not being torn down fast enough to outstrip that repair speed. Every tank can have up to 10 repair bots, and that's just that seems to be doing a lot for the tanks, just keeping them alive when they have enough repairs to, or enough materials to sustain those repairs, obviously. We got a toad over here in the far corner, but he's close enough to any of the battalions to keep hammering without getting DQ'd. Crams are missing. It doesn't really matter much if your enemy stands still long enough to and lets you stay alive long enough to reload. You're gonna get another shot. Eventually, something's gonna hit. And these little tanks, they are probably not built to withstand that kind of pummeling. You see the size of those shells coming in. I don't think they can take very many of those. That one's just getting hit straight on by this cram shell, right to the lower plate, getting absolutely ripped apart. This one in the middle, it's been wounded, it's been hurt bad, it's cut open, there's no turret on it anymore, or no functioning gun on the turret. Physics are having an issue. The tank is getting killed. 4 tanks are despawned for the battalion. The toads are still firing. No issues whatsoever. Oh, it's just a slaughter now. The battalion is losing out rapidly, now dropping significantly in firepower. Only the APCs are left. The tanks for the team have almost all been eliminated with the exception of this one over here. Another one despawns. We're down to 5 5 tanks killed and another 5 remaining for the reconnaissance battalion. This poor tank has taken so many cram shells to the lower plate. It's not even funny, but it's still alive. It's not dead yet, and it's just missing with this terrain. It's not able to hit anything. Now, if the Toads manage to shoot each other in the back of the APS, that might level things out a bit, but I don't think that's going to happen. I don't think there's enough time for that to happen efficiently. You got to hope for a miracle at this point. See, this one's stranded, might get disqualified because other contestants get too far away from it, but at the same time, it's just one Toad out of 7 you have to kill. I don't think there's enough time. No, sorry, 6 you have to kill. You have to kill 6 of them. You have to kill 6 Toads, and you've already lost 5 teammates, and the rest are getting absolutely shredded. I don't think there's enough time. I don't think there's enough firepower, even with Toads getting auto-despawned if they get out of range. And these APCs are just hovering just inside the disqualification range for the Toad, so it's not getting counted out. Even though and you see the Toads, this is the problem with them. They're amazing. They deal damage, they take damage very well, but they run out of fuel very quickly. And you see that here, all the Toads are now pretty much immobilized. Unfortunately, the reconnaissance battalion is not taking advantage of this. They're staying right in front of the Toads. They're just firing, they're exchanging shots, and this just lets the Toads do what they're doing here, which is just slowly but surely whittle down the reconnaissance battalion. If the reconnaissance battalion had any chance at all of coming back from this, they would get on the side of the Toads where the Toads can't shoot, and they would whittle them down or try to. The big problem is that the Toads have also kind of powered down, facing in all directions. You've got multiple Toads on all sides just able to shoot in almost every direction conceivable, so it's going to be hard to find an angle. Even if you did get an angle, try to get on the side of them, it's hard to get an angle where you're not going to be shot from some direction by a gigantic cram shell. We're down to 2.5 minutes left, and the Toads are just slowly chipping away at what's left of the reconnaissance battalion. We've got one tank over here that seems to have managed to get a magical position where it's not going to be shot at by Toads, but it's not able to shoot back at any Toads from back here either. It's just going to shoot the ground. So we're probably going to go to the full remaining 2 minutes on this. That tank's not going to get close ever again. Meanwhile, it's going to leave its poor APC brothers to die a slow, painful death by excessive amounts of cram. And yeah, it's only a matter of time before these turrets are ripped off by the crams, and then the rest is detonated. I will say the APCs are deceptively resilient. They're taking this rather well, but it's not going to matter. It's a 43.9% to a 98.9%, and the Toads still have 21,000 materials to go through. They've just got so much of a material bank in each one of these machines. They don't die. They just will not die. You really kind of have to hope that you hit the repair bots, and any decent build is going to have the repair bots hidden somewhere deep in a protected area where it can't be easily destroyed. So as long as those are still active and they still have plenty of repairs, and you're not dealing enough DPS to outrun the or outstrip the repair bots, you're stuck. You're stuck just waiting to die. Basically, we're down to a minute left. The Toads have long since stopped moving, but they're still firing, they're still aiming, they're still trying to take things out, and they can't be destroyed. They just cannot be destroyed. A bit of an anticlimactic ending, but this is what happens when you don't have enough fuel and when you don't have enough firepower. There was a lot of firepower starting out for a reconnaissance battalion, but it got eliminated too quickly. They just could not keep up with the pace of the Toads' repairs, and they could not keep up with the pace of the Toads' damage output. The Toads just put out way more damage than they took, and with this terrain and the fact that these tanks want to stay at range, they end up getting themselves in disadvantageous positions, firing at things that they can't shoot at. Like this one over here is just firing into the ground consistently. And as we come down to these last 10 seconds, it's just going to be, a last few shots from each side, ending in a victory for Mourark and his knot of Toads once more, while everyone, your battalion of reconnaissance tanks, is going to be moving down to the losers bracket to do battle there. I wish you both the best of luck, and I'll see you all next time.